Hello again, y'all. It is I, one more time, Samuel Alexander, and I'll be reading another poem from Gavin, second book in my series, I See Things in Blue. This one's real short, and I'm scanning it, and I genuinely think it fits Dario more than it fits Gavin. And that's a big part of why it's here, because I think it speaks, especially when they're in high school, to one of the things that the friends of Dario understand about him, how they would maybe interpret how he feels about himself, if that makes sense. So some poems are like that, like that's why they said I was literally stuttering, but the noises weren't coming out. I was struggling to get the thought out. I just couldn't get it out. It's about how I would envision they see how Dario thinks, maybe, what if they could verbalize what his brain was going through when he's in certain situations. Some of the poems are like that, but like they recognize it, and this may be an interpretation of it, from their perspective. So that's why they're there, and this is one of theirs. So I'm just gonna read. It's real short, like really, really short. Oh, I love a good short poem because I don't usually write them. But here we are, Gavin, second book. I See Things in Blue, and this poem is titled "Wanting." If I were a bird, I'd fly into another world. If I were a star, I'd fall in another galaxy. If I were a clock, I'd live in another time. If I were not me, then maybe you'd be mine. Yeah. So they very vividly understand what he's struggling with. Like they're not confused about it in any which way, shape, or form. They know what it is. And this is very accurate because he struggles from, self-doubt. And even though this poem is about, arguably a love interest, it's very Dario. His entire existence is spent around pretending to be something that he's not. And the person that he actually is would be desirable to the type of person that he actually wants. And so, in saying, if I were not me, he's essentially saying, if I were not the fake me that I've created, that you would be mine, that I would be myself, and you would like that person, but they don't believe that they can be that person, and they're running away from who they truly are to take the road of less resistance, and it's not working out for them. And I believe that their friends can see this. Gavin and Raylan can see that. And even though this is short, it's kind of heavy in a way because sometimes, especially that's how they feel. Like the me I am isn't good enough. And if I wasn't that person, then maybe I'd be doing better. So that's a very real thing. And in this book, it's an extremely real thing for the main character. So luckily for me, I write a lot of these types of poems. So needing them for this series just kind of coincidentally worked out, because they would have just been sitting on my hard drive, my external drive, my other jump drive. I really need to stop over saving things, but you never know. Yeah, they would have just been dust, really, just waiting for their moment to shine, which wasn't coming until this project came along. And so yeah, that's what this one is about. So it fits in that sense that I kind of firmly believe that their awareness of how he feels would make them think that he would think something like this. So it kind of makes sense to be here for that reason. Beyond that, that's not a stretch for my mind to go to, but it's not as obvious as the poems that I read before. And I don't think it's going to be the last one like this through the last 5 books, because sometimes the series is about Dario, and I have to take the out of the box approach to the poems that fit here and be like, well, what would the character in this book think about them? And they probably would interpret how he would feel in this kind of way, that he thinks he's the problem and he should fix that, which is what he's trying to do. But essentially, he is not the problem. And they're trying to help him realize that. So here we are. Again, at the end of another poem. It's black outside now, y'all. I really should close the window. But people looking in, like, why is this guy talking to a circle light? That's on them. I'm unconcerned. I genuinely don't care at this point. But there was another poem reading from my book, Gavin, second in the series. I See Things in Bloom. And if you've made it this far, as per usual, thanks for stopping by.